Hello everyone, this is Aegon of Astora, and welcome back to my caster build playthrough of Dark Souls Remastered. This is episode number 2 being recorded on Friday the 25th of May. I hope you're all having a fantastic day whenever it is you find yourself watching this. So after all of the technical difficulties of the previous episode, myself and everyone here in the chat worked together to figure out. You all on YouTube might not have noticed in the previous episode just because, you know, ideally anyway, I will have been able to edit it such that, you know, again, you wouldn't notice, but the people on Twitch here, unfortunately, had to endure the entirety of the previous episode with no game sound. So I'm very grateful to have such patient and kind viewers who... Well, I did not mean to do that. Yeah, the L3 jump is definitely not perfect. And I promise we will treat this more like a caster build when we actually get... Well, that's very kind of you to say, Michaela. Thank you very much. But I will be treating this more like a caster build when we actually get spells to use. So here's another Firekeeper Soul, which we're going to use properly this time instead of consuming it in an attempt to get the glitch. Surprisingly, did not get invaded there. I thought we would get invaded for sure. Is the backstab screen shake more drastic? It feels... I'm not sure if like, it might be more drastic just based on the frame rate. That could be what you're sensing there. Oh, what did I do that for? I guess we're using this as our bonfire. Hey, future me, stop watching this. You were there, you have patient records to transcribe. Oh, transcription is the worst. Would you say that the other characters with Lord Souls, Witch of Izalith, and Nito are criminally underused? Especially Nito, we know almost nothing about him. I wouldn't say that they're underused, necessarily. Certainly the Witch of Izalith or the Bed of Chaos is a product, at least in part, of incomplete development. They wanted to do something different with the Bed of Chaos, but, you know, ran out of time. Whatever they had previously didn't exactly work. But in the case of Nito, I think he's appropriately mysterious. Because keep in mind that we are coming to the world... I guess you don't need to send that elevator back down. We're coming to the world after the fall. So if Nito's a god of death, then it's not unreasonable, I don't think, in a world where undeath reigns supreme, it's not unreasonable that he wouldn't have an enormous role anymore. Oh, nice. Titanite shard. Nito is a guy who's just kinda there, indeed. So we can't use this with our present stats. Unfortunately, it also makes us fat roll, so we have to pop off our hat. There we go. But you should still be able to use it to aggro enemies, which is what we're gonna do here. Oh, I didn't even really harp on this very much in the previous episode, just because, you know, we did the... Oh, I aggroed 2 of them. Because, you know, we have already done the network test, so this isn't my first time playing 60 FPS Dark Souls. It's my second, but it really is glorious. Balder Shield, very nice. Has anyone confirmed... I know Long John's McGee said it, and not that I'm doubting Long John's McGee, but can anyone confirm whether or not they did in fact tie invasion levels, like PvP matching, to weapon upgrade level? Because if so, that would be easily, in my view, the worst change that they made. No, I think that's just... I don't know that the aggro range is weird. I think that's just the Balder Knights that are there. They have very odd line of sight. Nito is the first of the dead makes my head spin. If he's the first of the dead, does that mean he was a different entity before? Was he changed by his interaction with the Lord's soul? Or first made by the death? See, I wonder if the name First of the Dead might be a misnomer, sort of like Manus being the father of the abyss. Or maybe not a misnomer, but a poor translation of it. Yeah, the boar in 60 FPS I feel like is weird. Why can't I stab your butt? It moves strangely. I thought maybe it was just going to be the network test, but... Oh no, friend. But yeah, because with... Oh, wow. Rip. That was kind of sad. The legacy of the witch herself is never really explained. I would want some form of Dark Souls media where we see a world where everything hasn't already been destroyed. Maybe I'm not sure if it's poor translation. They do a lot of subversion of our assumptions that they don't know English. Touché. Well, especially Miyazaki saying that he's a naming geek, right? Yeah, leader, like, so... Because with Manus, Manus is the host of the Abyss, or the Lord of the Abyss. He's not father of the Abyss in the sense of a biological father. So we're going to be talking about this, or I'm going to be talking about this with Sinclair and JSF later, and it will be uploaded to Sinclair Lore's YouTube channel at some point following today's conversation. But one of the questions that we got on Twitter about the Abyss is, if Manus is the father of the Abyss, who's the mother? Because again, in English, the translation that they use was father. So sort of akin to someone I've been writing about in the context of my research, Francis Bacon, has been regarded by some as the father of, you know, depending on how you look at it, the experimental method or, you know, modern science, even though he was around before the scientific revolution. But that's what I think they were getting after with the whole title of father. But they don't mean a biological father. So the question was, you know, if Manus is the father, who's the mother? You know, it doesn't really make sense because that's not the type of father that he is. He's more like the Lord of the Abyss. So, you know, I do wonder whether with Nito we might be seeing something similar. Do you find the architecture in Anor Londo... Sorry. Oh, get wrecked. Get wrecked. Wow. I didn't think you could parry me from the side like that. You think Nito... So that's very interesting. Hunter M thinks Nito created the dark sign. So which would make... So if he's the first of the dead, like he didn't want there to be any more dead? Like, what motive would he have for wanting people to be undead? Interesting, Theomany. I think the issue is also that I'm not really using an optimal build. Use freaking Morningstar for whatever reason. Even though this is supposed to be a caster build, but we don't really have any spells yet. We are gonna go the... No, what are you doing? We are gonna go the long way to Blighttown. We are actually gonna do the entirety of Blighttown, which I don't remember the last time I did that. Maybe the first couple times I played the game. Yeah, his servants spread death to other worlds, but if you're spreading death to undead, isn't that kind of meaningless? Or is that just the game mechanics rubbing up against, you know, the attempt to incorporate lore and gameplay in such a way that, you know, it just doesn't work? The Dark Sign is a contract Gwyn signed with Nito, perhaps, as a way of feeding the Dark Soul to the fire, to the flame, maybe? I don't know. Interesting ideas, all of these, for sure. You know what? We might as well, because we're just going to keep banging our head against the wall in that one spot, I think. So let's go. We'll go deal with Lautrec. Leg stab. Go deal with Lautrec, so at least we can get the Ring of Favor and Protection. I said this in my network test footage, but I think the particle effects in and around the channeler look really, really good. Although elsewhere in the game, they do seem a tad overdone. So it goes both ways, I suppose. What are you doing, friends? You got a nice little buff there. You don't want to waste it. Oh, crud. Oh, no. That's what I get for talking crap to hollows. No! Oh my god. I'm dead. My usual strat is to bring them all outside, but I just realized that we hadn't taken out the enemies out there yet, so that will obviously not work. Oh no. Oh no. Yep. Wow. I'm getting my butt kicked here. We're gonna do the area in reverse order. The reason why we didn't go to the Undead Burg, which I suppose we could do, is that I didn't want to summon, or I didn't want to spawn the Drake, the Hellkite Drake. Because if you don't trigger that initial encounter in the Undead Burg where the Drake, the Hellkite Drake, sort of uses the bridge as a launching point to fly off into the distance, then yeah, it won't actually spawn YouTube. Can you please explain the way the size of humanoid enemies works in Dark Souls? Like, why are beings such as Gwyn shown to tower over Silver Knights in the opening cutscene, yet he is almost human-sized in game? Why are Artorias and Ornstein so much bigger than Gwyn? So that goes back, I think, to something that I've discussed in both Bloodborne Let's Talk Lore and Dark Souls 3 Let's Talk Lore, and that is, I think that is at least partially a gameplay thing. In the sense that, and just to briefly review for those who might not be familiar with the graph or chart that I'm talking about, you can integrate gameplay and lore to a considerable degree, and the Souls games are, excellent example of how that can be done, and the extent to which you can do that. But at the end of the day, you are always going to come to the realization that you're holding a controller in your hand. So there are some things, like bosses having HP bars, that you just have to accept as a gameplay thing. So that's just a Night Shield. We don't need that, so we're just going to leave that kind fellow, let him be. And the size of the enemies, I think, is one of those things that could just be a gameplay thing, but there is perhaps an argument to be made that special beings have special souls, and that special souls lead one to grow in size. But then the next question would be, why doesn't that happen to us? Because objectively speaking, from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, unless you're doing a soul level 1 build, but even then you're upgrading your gear and stuff, so you know, maybe that's external to the self, but if we level up, we should theoretically get bigger, right? So in terms of the mechanical explanation of that, why they're bigger, the gameplay reason for it would seem to be that it's easier to pick up on tells from... No, that's bad. Easier to pick up on tells from a boss when they're larger. So that would be the gameplay reason for it. Whether or not it's something that actually has story significance, I'm not entirely sure. If there are beings who are bled so bad they turn invisible, soul dictating size isn't so silly. Yeah, good point, Laniel. With the what are they even called? Gosh, that was like 2 episodes ago. Whoa. Where we talked about those enemies, and I've already forgotten their name. The enemies in Irithyll, the Boreal Valley, that have been eaten away by the moonbugs to such a degree that they've essentially begun to disappear. Irithyllian slaves, thank you, Humany. Ooh, we were Gravelorded, apparently. Sweet D ain't having none of that. Okay, so we're not going to deal with the Black Knight just yet. We don't have any moss, I don't think. No. Oh, we're dead. We're dead. No, friends! In part because I've died there so many times in the past. Alright. Oh gosh, darn it. Okay, I'm going to plan E now. How is it that I'm having so much trouble in the Undead Parish? You guys are making the stream with your presence. I'm not gonna fall for that again, friend. I already did once. Did he just knight me? Was that what that was? With the... with the rapier on the shoulder? So she's now Sir Sweet... or I guess... would it still be Sir Sweet D? Again, entanglement of gender and history. It's hard to even say. Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones. People refer to her as Sir sarcastically, but she's not a knight. But she's also not a lady. Alright, so yeah, so we've gone back to the original plan, but this time we actually cleared out the hollows out here, so... Oh my gosh, that buff. It's so easy to underestimate them. We killed a bunch of dreglings! D is a duchess, a queen even, yeah. Yeah, it's getting really complicated with Sweet D's situatedness in the world. It's really hard to say. Oh! Stupid channeler. No! Okay, maybe he's not so stupid. No, he's stupid. Why do I keep two-handing the weapon? Force of Habit from Dark Souls 2. I don't know much about Dark Souls 2. Is Ilium Lois above what remains of Lost Izalith? That is, yes, what is... It's not so much that it's above the remains of Lost Izalith, like I suppose that's possible, but that it is above the chaos.
Still human, are you? Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse.
People don't eat in Dark Souls either.
Thank you. Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec of Carim. I truly appreciate this, and I guarantee a reward. Only later.
Alright, so even though... Yeah, but Siegbrow is just... Or, like, Estes Soup is just Estes, isn't it? So even though we're doing things differently in this playthrough, by doing a caster build, even though we've not really done much casting up to this point, we are going to do my usual thing of now going to Firelink and killing Lautrec. Because screw him and his Firekeeper killing ways. Oh, hey, friend! I forgot about you. Get wrecked. Shira presents herself as a daughter of Seath. She even wears a crown with a man-eater clam pearl in it. I imagine that's probably the reason why Maeglin Amandel? Or Maeglin? I don't know if they eat for pleasure. Because, like... You know, to be a hollow, not in the greatest of shape. We gotta have Sweet D's bird legs on display. It makes you wonder if Earth in the Dark Souls universe is finite with an edge, or if space is a thing that even exists in the Dark Souls universe. It certainly does. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I did not want to do that. But we did it, so now we're gonna have to kill all those gosh darn hollows again. Although I'm not sure if he would have been here if we hadn't done that, or, you know, done a save quit, so. Hello.
Ah, hello there. I have your reward. Please, accept it. I am grateful to you for freeing me. Not enough for you? Well, let's not be greedy now.
I like how he's laughing like he's the one who is in control of this engagement. Or, I suppose we'll see.
By the Lords. Face.
I don't know that we're going to keep... In fact, I don't think we are going to keep the Ring of Favor and Protection for very long, but might as well have it for now. Yeah, let's go kill the gargoyles, then we'll do the rest of the area. And then we'll call it an episode. I think the next place we should go after killing the gargoyles is... No, friend. We should probably go to Blighttown after that, so... Yeah, we'll just leave the Undead Burg unfinished for now. And we'll just go to the Lower Burg, and then the Depths, and then Blighttown. The full Blighttown. So that should be very, very interesting, because it's been so long since I've done that. But insofar as it's 60 FPS, bring it on. I'm excited for that. That guy just... He was so excited he tripped over his friend. Whoa, where did you come from? These guys are getting smarter. They jumped down. No. I wasn't laughing. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's a Vagrant. It's a Vagrant! Oh my god! Oh my god, it's a Vagrant! Is it an evil Vagrant too? Yeah, it's an evil Vagrant! No. Don't you dare ruin this Vagrant encounter. Don't you dare. Whoa! Get wrecked. Wow. Oh, I love Dark Souls 1. I really do love Dark Souls 1. I don't remember the Pyromancy Flame looking near that pronounced before. But that's pretty cool. Wow. Like, for a split second, I was very confused by the projectile attack. Like, very confused. You've never seen one before? Wow. Yep. There's 4 different types. There's good Vagrant, evil Vagrant, and then Black Phantom variations of both of them, I think. I think that was an evil Black Phantom Vagrant, which I believe is the rarest kind. I could be completely wrong about that. But either way, that was pretty cool, and something that only happens in Dark Souls 1. Well, the people that are in the know, I'm sure, are like leaving bloodstains for that reason. Illusory Wall mentioned something about that in his stream today. I got one in... Please. Oh my gosh. The way they jump down. I like the fake gargoyles in the Tower of Lautrec. Just no grace whatsoever. Alright. I saw an evil Black Vagrant earlier today. Wow. I guess that's also the difference that population makes too, because, you know, this is a game that came out, I think, mid-2011? I didn't start playing until July or August 2013. So at a point in time when the population was far reduced from where it was at launch. Like, there was still a very healthy number of players playing, but nothing like this, certainly. I think I found an eggy one in Blighttown, which is very appropriate. don't have a clue about Guinevere in Dark Souls 3. That's the one thing, the one aspect of the lore in Dark Souls 3 that I've more or less just conceded that I will never really have a good handle on. And maybe that's just because it's such a contentious point in the lore among people in the community. I don't know. I'm going to assume that the gargoyles are resistant to fire. But we might as well give it a shot. Give it the old college try. We don't really have anything to use, though. Yeah, the particle effects in some aspects of the game, I think, are a marked improvement. I like how the Duke's Archive looks like it's covered in frost. I somehow doubt that was intentional, but it's curious. So the Queen of Lautrec is a child of the Abyss. Okay, so we really don't need the tail cut, but of course I'm gonna go for it anyway. Although I think I might have just spawned the second one. Ow. No. That's bad. No, it's still up there. Yeah, here it comes. Oh, that's pretty weak. I figured they would be resistant. This is bad. Not nearly as bad as it is in Dark Souls 2, but... Oh. Okay, I'm gonna focus for a second. Why am I still trying for the tail cut? I'm not gonna use the weapon anyway. Yeah, the next place we're gonna have to go is definitely the depths, because that way we can gain access to Laurentius and actually turn this into the caster build that it's supposed to be, instead of freaking Morning Star build. No, are you kidding me? Oh, so close. Rip. Yeah, so that must be what unrestricted is. So let's see if when we disable that option... Oh, come on. So when we disable that option, I'm going to assume that this will disappear. Nope. Unless it only applies to your summon sign. So having the password will allow me to see... Guys, I'm trying to do testing here. You're not being very considerate. Like, haven't you killed me enough times already? Gosh. Yeah, the boss I have the most fun fighting, I would say, is probably the Fume Knight. Didn't passwords... At least in Dark Souls 2, when you're wearing the name engraver ring, it did. So yeah, I've yet to have any idea what the point is of that. Yeah, Morningstar is not the best weapon for tail cuts. And as soon as I say that, get a tail cut. Of course. Rip. Oh, not dead. Oh, so it's not in Dark Souls 3 that it blocks him. Okay. That was too easy. I went from being too hard to too easy, so go figure. Likely, the summon sign visibility simply limits the amount you can see at any one time to an arbitrary amount in the interest of, well, visibility. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess. So it doesn't have anything to do with the password then in that case. Yeah, Gravelording is basically... Being Gravelord is basically the Champion's Covenant. Bed of Chaos pisses me off because... Not because it's a shit boss, but because of our encounter with one of the most important... Yeah. Well, that's Lost Izalith in general is the problem. So as we've only rung, as that's just our first Bell of Awakening, the pathway to Sen's Fortress has not opened up. So the reason we haven't seen any trophies up until this point is that in order to capture the footage for the stream intro, I went to Firelink from the Northern Undead Asylum with another build, but that's basically all I did. So we might as well head towards the depths at this point. We should make a quick stop at Firelink. That looks awful. They didn't render the entire thing. See if Sen's rooftop is entirely visible. It's hard to say. That is supposed to be where the Iron Golem is. And you can see the spot where there used to be a door at one point. Hi, friend. You have a gesture we need. It's interesting that you can't... Like, he doesn't have a talk option.
Thou art welcome anytime. It is only human to commit a sin.
He has one of the more sinister laughs in the game. I love it. We're gonna go back to Firelink, so we might as well use a Homered Bone, of which we only have 4 remaining, so we need to be mindful of that. Yeah, my perspective on it is just that, you know, this is my favorite Souls game. It was my first Souls game. I came to it late. I did still get, you know, a lot of PvP in that time. But especially for Let's Talk Lore, being able to capture footage of all 3 Dark Souls games on one console is amazing. It is such a convenience. But that is a very, like, highly specific, you know, a set of highly specific reasons why I, you know, basically threw my money down immediately as soon as I could with this. I don't pre-order from anyone but FromSoft, though. Yeah, I guess these guys just chain aggro. I guess that's always been a thing. I'm just not remembering that. Oh, that's bad. Oh, I should have saved some souls to spend with Andre. Silly me. Salinar. Yep, so in order to upgrade it further, what you need to do is you need to go to the depths. And you'll find that there are two very large women in the depths with butcher knives and sacks on their heads. And you're looking for the one who's chopping up meat at a table. Behind her will be a chest that has the large ember in it, which you need to bring to Andre, who will then permit you to, I think it's called modify weapon, from +5 to +6. Yeah, the Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap, the, I guess, remaster of Wonder Boy 3 the Dragon's Trap, is a good example of, you know, an appropriately, a remaster that does justice to the original, doesn't change too much. Like, you can still use the original passwords in that game. So if you had a password from, you know, if I still had a password from when I was like 5 years old playing that for the first time, I could still use it in the remaster. And, you know, they fixed and changed a lot of things, but they also did things like they provided the option to switch back and forth between the old graphics, the new graphics, the old sound effects, the new sound effects. So, like, there are certain things about Dark Souls that are just part of the charm. I'm led to understand, for instance, that the door in the sky in Sen's Fortress is still there. The rats are indeed OP. I don't blame you for not wanting to go down to the depths. The depths is where I almost quit Dark Souls back in the day, because I got cursed by the basilisk down there. And at that point in my Souls playing career, as it were, no friend, I relied a lot on summoning for help, but when you're cursed, you can't summon. You only have half the HP, so it was a freaking nightmare. But I eventually made it to... I thought we killed this guy already. Oh no, we died like right at the end. I eventually made it to New Londo, where... How come I can't backstab it, though? I guess just the uneven terrain. Oh, this guy's not making it easy. Also not making it easy on myself. Alright, this is a caster build. I need to keep reminding myself that. Oh. Alright, it's 6:22, so I'm supposed to be on a Discord call with JSF, and Sinclair lore in 38 minutes, so I'm gonna try and get us to the Sunlight Altar Bonfire, and then we'll call it an episode there. And it is my hope... Let me butt stab you! No! Why isn't it working? I could just do this, I suppose. Get wrecked. Oh, I feel like she's gonna try and bully me anyway. Either that or, like... I think you might more accurately say that I need to be there to protect JSF from being bullied. I do not have a Discord server, no. I'm barely on Discord. Only really when I need to record things. I'm pretty sure Theomany has one, though. Oh, cool. Well, I'll be looking forward to that, Hunter. I've been spoiled as it comes to the Don't Give Up Skeleton podcast lately because, like, I seem to know all the guests from somewhere, and that's pretty cool. So I always look, like, not that the other guests on the show aren't interesting, but I find it more interesting listening to those, you know, when I know at least something about the people. So yeah, I'm definitely looking... Nicole's episode was great, and I'm looking forward to Rolling Ewoks episode, as well as Hunter M's episode. Okay, how are we going to handle this, friends? I'm not really sure. Because this is where we got our butts kicked last time. I really do wish I had... Will this work? The only lore server I'm on right now is my dissertation, really, sadly. Although not sadly, because, you know, I am enjoying what I'm doing, but... Do they not respond to Alluring Skulls? I suppose not. They can still get fucking wrecked! No, I shouldn't have said anything. Should not have said anything. Yes! Thank you, everyone. Much appreciated. I was just thinking that we could get the tail cut on the Drake, but I forgot that we ensured that the Drake wasn't spawning. Whew. This part always, like... I'm not even afraid of heights, but this part always freaked me out. Going on the little ledges on the sides. 6C FPS is never a mistake, I don't think. I think 30 FPS with, 60 FPS with reasonable graphic fidelity. Okay, I gotta remember to kick down the ladder. I have just rolled off before and then forgot. Yes, I know. It might have been an alert. I thought I had them disabled, but... Not sure. We might as well kindle this. What's your rationale behind not spawning the Drake other than the lack of a Drake being a positive? Just not wanting to deal with the Drake, really. Essentially, I'm doing this playthrough as... Not 100% as I played the game by myself, but... A lot of what I'm doing is just sort of the usual stuff that I did when I played Dark Souls 1. Because when you don't spawn the Drake, this part right here is a lot easier to deal with. Yeah, it's much less of a headache. No. The range on this thing's so bad on the Morningstar. Yeah, Rolling Ewok, if you get the Master Key, as we did, and you don't the spot where you first encounter the Drake in the Undead Burg, if you don't walk past that spot, then the Drake just basically doesn't exist. It's one of the wonderful things about Dark Souls 1, the extent to which you can sequence break and change the game. Well, I guess you both learned then. TIL, right? Yeah, that first encounter, so like at the end of like the first or second stairwell at the Undead Burg. So if you have, I think it's 20 faith, you can join, or if you help other players kill, I think 5 bosses or something like that. Yeah, 48, well, okay, so I think I should correct myself then. Because I did hear about that. And I think movies at a high frame rate can look very strange. Oh, is this a Gravelord sign? Okay, well, we have to. I think we have to. No! 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 Oh! Oh, I guess it moves with them, maybe? No! Yes! No! Alright, I give up. Someone in the chat said that that was happening to them earlier. Yeah, like, by the time I started playing the game, Gravelord Covenant was essentially dead. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you were getting motion sickness, Twiggy. Okay, so maybe it was a little bit unfair of me to say that 60 FPS is never a mistake. That is definitely overstating it in that case, because I hadn't considered that possibility. But certainly I think more games could run at 60. And I wonder, like, is it just 60 FPS or is it variable frame rates? No, I'm not going to kill Solaire. Oh, so the Gravelord died anyway. So that's going to do it for this episode. We'll talk to Solaire at the beginning of the next one. But thank you all very, very much for joining me. Or for joining us, again, I should say. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.